What's up, everybody? It is me, KiNGAlpha. Hope everybody's doing great. So, guys, I know you don't see my face and everything like that. So, um, I just want to talk about doing a guide for the Palace Guards. Now, I know Berserkers come out today, but I'm obviously gonna need to get gameplay for them and everything, and actually do like an overview on both of their veterancy lines because both veterancy lines actually look pretty good on Berserkers. But nonetheless, guys, if you guys don't know, check down in the description below. I have my KiNGAlpha code that you guys can actually use to actually buy any content creator packs in the My Games marketplace. There's also my Twitch there in case you guys do want to watch any of my streams when I go live. I'm trying to grind for partner. I applied for partner, and let's just hope that I do get partnered on Twitch. Regardless, let's get back to this. So, Palace Guards, what's going on with them? Are they good? Are they meta? Are they this? Are they that? Break down everything in terms of best veterancy, best gameplay to use, what doctrines, all that type of stuff. So let's get into it. Palace Guards, are they currently meta? Yes, in normal sieges they are. However, in TW they are not. And I know you're probably like, Alpha, is there a way I can actually just try and use them in TW? You can try, but the issue is that there's a lot of meta units in terms of Imperial Pikes, Fortebraccio, Stalwarts, Cav, that just don't go well with using Palace Guards. However, Palace Guards in regular sieges are really freaking fun. So I just want to get that out there, that they're amazingly fun. They're just absolutely tanky, and they're a great unit to use in regular sieges. Now let's go into the veterancy. I went top veterancy with these guys. I know a lot of people would typically go bottom, and I'm going to talk about why top line is better. So we get the reduced damage taken by 5%, slashing armor penetration by 5%, slashing damage by 2%, increase the number of enemies each soldier can attack with a single strike, increase crit value, increase the block break by basically 90%, which is amazing. You get this as well, which the unit may use a shield bash attack dealing blunt damage, which if you guys don't know, shield bash is almost like the Kondo shock attack. So it's pretty good. The attacking enemies can daze them, which is awesome. The increased damage dealt to infantry by 15%, and then the all damage is increased by 10%, and then defenses are decreased by 5%. So, and it does change the unit look, so the look can be actually different, which is pretty cool if you go either top or bottom. Now, one big reason why you want to go top line compared to bot line, some of the best things on the bot line is the shield formation, some of the block recoveries and all that type of stuff, and the defense increase. However, if you go top line, you get this shield bash. This is one of the most important skills on these guys because of the shield bash. This shield bash can actually allow for you to break through stalwarts and, fight stalwarts head on instead of just, using any other infantry to try and break through stalwarts, because these guys are so tanky and they have the shield bash that they actually can break the block of stalwarts and actually get through. And Palace Guards are so tanky, and their defense is so high already that they actually can break through them. If you guys don't know as well, a lot of these sword and shield units did get an increase in block break, so they actually are better against shield units. So this is why you're seeing stalwarts sometimes struggle against a unit like Palace Guards, for example. But also attacking enemies can daze them as well, which is great. So it definitely helps out a lot, and increased damage dealt to infantry is the best bit as well. One thing I want to say is these guys are not hero killers. Do not expect them to immediately murder a hero like how paladins can if you X and V over them. It just doesn't work. Like, they just do not kill the hero immediately. I mean, if you put a hero in a corner and then you put your Palace Guards there, they'll kill the hero pretty quick because they'll all strike all at once. However, when it's a fight on fight, Palace Guards will not immediately kill a hero. They'll probably hit them for about 1,005, 1,007, but they won't kill them immediately. These guys, you got to use them against infantry. They are great against infantry, especially shield units and even other sword and shield units as well. One thing I want to talk about as well is they have staunch defenders, heavy armor, and fire resistance. They're really good against fire, and the shield bearers, so they range is reduced when using shields and stuff, which is great. But the staunch defenders are amazing. So they have high block, when enemies advancing on them, and then damage is also taken, is reduced when taken. So it's pretty good. The one big thing, like, there's a couple big things I want to talk about, is the fact that they have high health, their leadership is amazing, 235, and their blunt defense is really low, but their slashing and piercing damage is pretty good, which most of the time you're actually dealing against piercing and slashing damage. However, one big thing that you guys need to be careful of is their speed. Their speed is 4. So if you're, in a fight or something and you're trying to get out, you might lose them because of the fact that they do not run as fast. As well, when you're trying to maybe engage on something, you got to make sure all of them are with you, because their speed, if you're running around a corner or something, each one of them, they're going to be really slow. That's one of the big things that does suck with the palace guards, is their speed is slow. But if you guys want to kind of negate that, I would say use double tap C, and they could follow. If you guys did not know this, if you double tap C, a lot of the units run faster towards you. So just always keep that in mind. And let's talk about the doctrines. I know a lot of people are asking, what would the doctrines be? I'm gonna show you basically the elite status of what a palace guard could look like, and then I'm gonna show you guys what you can use if you only have like greens and blues and all that type of stuff. So I like to have my iron sights. My iron sights is amazing. It gives you piercing, slashing, and blunt defense by 150 for 10 seconds. And I always typically pop this after I charge, which I do have the increased charge damage by 180. But I typically always pop iron sights while my unit is charging. And when you pop iron sights, it actually doesn't stop the palace guards from charging. They just charge and still keep the iron sights on. So definitely make sure that if you're going to charge and you do have iron sights and you want to use these guys, definitely pop it. It's a really great unit to use against a lot of other sword and shield units, and even per se like stalwarts and imperial shields and all that type of stuff. Another big thing is their block. Increased block by 140 is great. The higher the block that they have, the better they are. So they're still tanky, and they have a high block, and they're doing extra damage, which is great. Also, the reduced range damage taken by 10% is amazing. DPS units are always a bit annoying. I think the only unit that really annoys me the most, or two units that annoy me the most, are actually Pavis if they're fully purple, doctrined out, and then Namcans. Namcans are actually the worst because of the fact that they have bleed, so it just negates all the fact of like any block or defense or all that type of stuff. Defense doctrine, I have this as well, piercing defense by 80 and slashing defense by 80, and then like I said, I have the increased charge damage. Now, one doctrine I would take out is this one. If I had the reduce charge cooldown by 20%, I would take out the defense doctrine and put that there, so that the charge isn't 60% on the palace guards, which is a bit, 60 seconds, which is a bit annoying. But once you get the charge cooldown, you actually can bring them down to 45, which is pretty good. And most of the time, guys, when you charge, if it's a one-on-one, you'll probably survive that one-on-one with your palace guards. But if not, then your palace guards will be tanky enough to actually come out and still have some. But if you don't have any of these purple doctrines, what I would say is definitely put in the increased blunt damage and increased blunt armor penetration, since you're going top line. So I would put my blunt armor penetration here, and I would have both of those. Now as well, you would need to maybe even have, if you don't have that piercing doctrine or defense doctrine, definitely put in the health doctrine. The health doctrine will help out with extra health and make them just even a bit more tanky. And if you definitely have like a piercing defense doctrine, put it there, because piercing defense is great versus DPS. So I just wanted to say that, just in case people do not have in terms of purple doctrines and stuff, especially if you're first beginning and you want to use palace guards, definitely use this setup. I'll put that there, this setup, in terms of like green doctrines and blue doctrines that you'll receive. So just wanted to say that. Now, some of the units that this unit does really well against is paladins, stalwarts, condos, all the major units. We're gonna see how these units do against berserkers, because I know I'm gonna be facing a lot of berserkers today. However, this unit does struggle against a couple of things. So Imperial Pikes, it can eat an entire Imperial Pike walk. If you guys don't know, there's Imperial Pike guards. They do it in advance. And They can eat it, however, your unit will still get to the ground, and the only thing is that they can stand back up and beat the Imperial Pikes, but you will lose a lot, like a decent amount of them, and you will probably have most of them at really, really low health, that if a supply is not around, you might lose them all. So just be careful when trying to actually fight an Imperial Pike Walk one-on-one. Other than that, the only two units that really can beat these guys that are melee, oh, excuse me, the only two units that can actually beat these guys that are melee is the Celadars and the Reapers. Those two units are the only units that can really beat them, but they're T5 units, so we'll see. And I want to definitely see how the Shield Maidens are going to do against the Palace Guards, because if the Palace Guards can beat Shield Maidens, that'll be crazy. So yeah, I also do need to change this back as well. So yeah, that's basically it for the Palace Guards. I'm going to show you guys some gameplay. We could talk a little bit about them and the gameplay, and you know, obviously get a little bit of snippets here and there of some crazy moments with the Palace Guards. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Let me know what you guys think about these guys. And oh wait, hold on, before I forget. Definitely, if you have the extra honor, definitely want to honor node their blunt damage, and their honor nodes are actually amazing for the Palace Guards. You get extra blunt damage by 5%. This is why top line is so important to go for. Then you get the slashing defense, and you get the piercing defense, and then you even get the ranged resistance defense as well, which is amazing, because if you can get this and you get, I think that's 20% extra piercing resistance, or is that 20%? I'm not exactly sure. 4%, and then you times that by 5. Yeah, it's 20. Okay, I'm thinking my math is totally wrong. Anyways, you definitely get 20% extra range weapons resistance, which is amazing. So definitely keep out if you have honor and there's nowhere else that you want to spend it, especially if you've already like did your Imperial Pikes, your muskets, and all that type of stuff. Definitely put it into the Palace Guards if you have the extra honor. So let's get into some gameplay. I'll see you guys in a bit. Deuces. What's up, everybody? So I just wanted to make sure that I actually give you guys a little bit more in depth on how I use them in the battle. I know this is a very long video on a unit, but I figured why not actually make an in-depth guide on these guys so that you guys can know exactly how to use them. I don't want you guys thinking, oh, this is the way, yada, yada, yada. All right, so as you guys can see, my Palace Guards right now are about to go into freaking Stalwarts, and this is when they're front braced inside. I do, like I said, I have iron sides and everything, so they actually can fight in. But one of the big things I always want people to understand is that when you're using these Palace Guards, you need to X and V, especially when you're trying to figure out exactly like if you're trying to push in, if you're a maul, glaive, or short sword, these units are the best for this class because of the fact that you can use your units to actually open up for the Palace Guards. I think that's one of the biggest things, is opening up for your Palace Guards so that they can do more damage than they typically do. One thing, like I've said before, the Palace Guards are not good at typically hero damage, so you really want to focus on the units. Now typically the Palace Guards can tank a lot of the other infantry units, and Palace Guards will kill the infantry units. Now I know my Palace Guards are decked out, but your Palace Guards can be this good as well. So don't think, oh, you have purple doctrines, blue doctrines, and everything, that's why they're so strong. Well, you can get that as well. It's not like pay to win or anything. It's just literally by grinding your treaties and just getting your units all decked out. But per se, I want to make sure that you guys know these guys are not always made to stick out an entire fight. I typically will make sure that these guys get into a fight, and as long as I know that they can win while I'm helping them as well, then that's when I stick with them the entire time, and I just I don't throw them away, but I make sure that I fight with them till the end. These guys are great people to push until the end. They are great for, flanks, frontal charges, and everything. But I don't want people to be like, oh, Palace Guards suck because of the fact that they literally do no damage. You need to help them to make do with the damage that they actually have, which they do a lot of damage once they open up if you go top line. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It wasn't too long, but let me know what you guys think and have a good one. And hopefully you guys enjoy these palace guards as much as I'm enjoying them, with also combining them with the berserkers now. That berserker guide will be coming tomorrow. But anyways, I'll see you guys. Deuces. Have a great one.